I don't know about you, but English, it can be a very confusing language. And if English is not your first language, you've come to the right video, because I'm going to share with you just a few simple tips that consistently done every single day for about an hour a day, if not more, depending on what amount of effort you want to put into it, can make you more proficient and increase your comprehension or understanding of the English language and your conversational skills. So without further ado, let's get started. My wife happens to be Dominican and English. Even though she was born here in the United States, she spent a good chunk of her youth raised in the Dominican Republic. And with that being said, English is not her first language. And in my opinion, I felt that English was an easy language to learn until I actually saw a couple of TikTokers.
So which pray is correct?
Well, it depends.
Because?
Because they're like not the same.
I think you're starting to see how. Which means these two words aren't spelled the same because...
Because they're like not the same?
No. You don't see how. Just because they're not spelled the same doesn't mean they're not the same. But when two words sound the same and are spelled the same, that means...
They're the same.
Well, it depends. I mean, this right could mean like the opposite of left, and this right could mean like correct. Or it could be right as in, if you don't understand, you have the right to ask questions.
English can be confusing because we use the same spelling for the same words, or it may be spelled differently with different meanings, but it is pronounced the same way. I'll give you an example. Read, read, and red. That's just one simple example. In order to join the military, you're going to have to complete what we call the ASVAB test, which is your Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. And it is going to be conducted in English, and there is no authorization or exceptions to that rule. So it doesn't matter if English is your primary or secondary language, the test is administered in English. And if English is not your first language, the paragraph comprehension, the word knowledge, and possibly the arithmetic are going to be a little bit more challenging for you compared to somebody else where English is their primary language. Just do the best that you can, but if you can score at least a 21 and above, we have a couple of programs. I'll throw the thumbnails on the screen, and I'll link them down below in the description area and or in the pinned comment section. The 09 Mic program and the Flurry program, with both of them having different ways of accomplishing the same task of passing the test. Now, obviously, with English not being your first language, I would steer you more in the direction of the Flurry program, but there are a few restrictions to both of these programs that you may or may not qualify for, but still, depending on your unique circumstances, assist and facilitate you to still join the service. To pass the ASVAB in of itself, you need to score an AFQT score of a 31 or better. I will post what is the ASVAB test based on video down below that will go into more detail about the ASVAB test in of itself. But in this video, I want to focus on tips and tricks to assist you in the learning process and to practice listening, speaking, and reading in English on a daily basis in small doses over time, consistently on a daily basis, will significantly improve your English language speaking skills and comprehension. So as previously described, for 1 hour a day, conducting these 4 different activities, you're going to improve upon your English language speaking and listening and reading skills. So for an hour a day, 15 minutes each, not in this particular order, doesn't have to be back to back. It can be squeezed in throughout your day, however that may fit for you. But your first activity is going to be reading, and that is reading a book or a magazine that you're genuinely interested in. And every time you run into a word that you don't understand, I want you to look up that word, try to remember it for next time. Furthermore, I want you to read out loud as well. Reading it out loud is going to help the muscle memory when talking with your lips and your tongue. And I want you to enunciate everything. As annoying as it may seem, I want you to enunciate everything so that you can get used to saying the English language words. The second thing I want you to do is to watch something in English, whether it's a TV show, a movie, or even YouTube, right? Any type of video that will provide English subtitles. I want you to be able to hear, to listen to the English language being spoken on the video and reading it in English. So you're watching it in English, listening to how it is being spoken and reading along with these subtitles. Again, looking up words that you don't know as well. This here will help with the audible, hearing the different words and how it is pronounced and reading it at the same time. The third thing I want you to consider is conversing or having a conversation with somebody in English, preferably with someone that only speaks English. Because if you speak to somebody that speaks your native tongue, you'll fall back on your native language to compensate for the words that you don't know yet or struggling with in English. So I want you to converse with somebody only in English. The problem I see with a lot of people that English is not their first language is in the home, they only speak their native tongue. And to make matters worse, not worse, but more challenging to acclimate to the United States, is they'll stick around in a community with like-minded individuals that only speak their native tongue. So let's say you're Middle Eastern, you'll tend to be in a community that only speaks Arabic. If you're Spanish, then you'll be in a community that only speaks Spanish, and so on and so forth. It's just how even New York City is, right? There are different areas throughout the city that we know to be Russian or Spanish or Arabic, and so on and so forth. Get out of your comfort zone. Preferably get out of your community and immerse yourself somewhere else to force yourself to speak English. Because when you stay within your block or your immediate area within your community and everyone's speaking the same language, it's not going to help you or force yourself to learn or to use what you've learned so far and to put it into practice in speaking English. So make sure that for 15 minutes a day, bare minimum, talk to somebody in English, force yourself to describe certain things in English, and hopefully with a person that will help you and not make you feel a type of way, preferably. But this is going to help out a lot. And the fourth thing I want to share with you is downloading an English language learning app like Duolingo or Rosetta Stone or any other language application that will teach you for a few minutes per day. I know Duolingo, 10 minutes a day is all that they do, and will help you with your day-to-day conversational skills, get the wheels turning and greasing and learning as much as you possibly can in this app for 10 to 15 minutes per day. Some of these apps have an in-app purchase. I don't have any apps that I could offer you with discount codes or anything, but Duolingo in of itself is free. All right. I use it myself to try to learn Spanish. My wife is going to hate me for saying it. I doubt she'll even see this video, honestly, but she's on me like white on rice trying to get me to learn Spanish, but I'm lazy because I got YouTube, a family and a full-time job and other responsibilities, but I'm only making excuses. You cannot make an excuse, right? You live in America now. We do help out with translators and this and that, whatever, but you're looking to join the military. And even if you've passed the ASVAB test and you want to improve upon your English, these 4 things is going to help you in learning English, all right? Being in the military is going to force you to speak English because for official purposes, that is the official language for all of the military. You can't speak in any other language for official purposes. Now, if you're having a private conversation with a friend of yours or somebody else and it's private, not official, you can speak in any language that you want. But for official purposes only, English is the primary language, the only language that is authorized for official purposes. So with all that said, for 1 hour a day, consistently for the next however many months, you're going to significantly improve your English language speaking and understanding skills by doing these simple tasks, 10 to 15 minutes per day, no more than an hour at minimum, spread out whenever it's convenient for you. Don't make excuses like me. Follow through, be consistent. Again, you may have already joined, but you want to improve your English. And this is one great way to do so. But if you're struggling on the ASVAB test, outside of getting a tutor, which can be costly, this is a great way on your own, probably the most flexible way and cheapest way to improve your English language speaking skills. I would also implore you to research in your local area free or low cost ESL training, which leads me back to that Flurry video. If you end up going Flurry, which is the Foreign Language Recruiting Initiative, again, the video is going to be linked down below. You're going to receive up to 90 days worth of paid training to go through ESL training to help you improve upon your English language speaking skills and have the ability to retest the ASVAB with the intent to score higher, hopefully scoring a 31 or better. If you don't qualify for that program, but you might qualify for the 09 Mike program, that is also a phenomenal program that, again, will pay you up to 90 days to increase your scores to ultimately pass the test legitimately and move on with your military service. Those videos will be linked down below. I'm Lewis here at Team Swartz, helping you navigate the joining process, helping you make a well-informed decision so that you could join for your reasons and your reasons alone. Without further ado, like this video, subscribe, turn the bell icon so you don't miss anything. I also go live weekly on Wednesdays. If I don't see you then, I'll see you in the next one.